Ate My Gymsuit by Paula Danziger. Chapter 5. School went on as usual. I kept getting good grades in everything but gym. My anonymous letters to the student council suggestion box were ignored. Lunches continued to be lousy. We were only up to the Civil War in history class. It was different in some ways, though. I didn't sit alone at lunch anymore. I sat with some of the kids from Smedley. Miss Finney's classes were still great, but the rest of the classes seemed even more boring than they were before she came. We kept asking the teachers to be more like her, but they made faces and told us to keep quiet. We talked out in classes more and asked more questions, but they didn't like that. We even asked some of them to join Smedley, but they said things like, "What are you doing? Getting your head shrunk?" And "My contract doesn't say I have to stay after school past West period." What changed a lot was my home. It got even worse. My father has a horrible temper. He doesn't hit, but he yells. Even worse, he says awful things to me, like, "I don't care if you get good grades. You do stupid things. Why do I have to have a daughter who's stupid and so fat? I'll never get you married off." My mother would try to tell him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. They'd get into a fight, and she'd start to cry, and then go get a tranquilizer, which is a pill to help her calm down. Then my little brother Stuart would cry and run for his teddy bear. While all this was happening, my father would scream at me, "Look at what you've done! We'd never fight if it weren't for you! Apologize!" By that time, I'm crying. It usually ended with me running upstairs, slamming my door, throwing myself on my bed, and rocking back and forth. My mother would come in and hug me and tell me everything would be okay, but that I really should lose some weight and look like everyone else. I hated it. That's what usually went on in my house, but, as I said, things got much worse. In a way, it was because of Smedley. We did lots of neat stuff in there, and I wanted to try some of it at home. One day in Smedley, we broke up into small groups and told each other how we saw each other and felt about each other. I was really excited. Nobody said that they hated me. They said I was smart and nice, but too quiet and shy. No one made fun of me. They didn't say I was skinny and beautiful, but they didn't tell me I was ugly and fat either. So I thought that maybe it would be good to try it at home. My mother was all for it. I had told her about what we were doing in Smedley, and she really dug it, because she said it was making me different. I didn't tell her how scared I was, though. I wanted her to be proud of me. So, one night at dinner, she explained that she wanted us all to sit around and talk like a family. My father said, "I've worked hard all day for this family, Lily. Isn't that enough? I don't have to talk to you all. I don't have to talk to all of you too, do I?" Mom very quietly said, "Martin, I think it's important. Please?" So he said, "Okay, for a little while." Mom and I cleared off the dishes, and then we went into the living room where my father was watching television. Stuart was sitting on the floor, stuffing pits into the hole in Wolf, his teddy bear. Stuart watches a lot of commercials, and he saw once that oranges are supposed to keep you healthy. He used to try to put whole oranges in Wolf, but things got pretty sticky, so we convinced him that pits are best for bears. My father frowned and said, "No, let the kid stay here. He's part of the family too. And anyway, I want to talk to him about his stupid thumb sucking and that idiot teddy bear." Stuart held Wolf in his arms and started to suck his thumb. "I love Wolf. He's my friend. He never yells at me." "Look, kid, you're 4 years old. What are you going to be, 40, hugging that bear and sucking your thumb? You'll never get a job that way." Stuart started to cry. I was scared, but I said, "Daddy, please don't yell at him. He's just a little kid." He started to yell, "Don't you start. First I have problems at work, and then I have to come home to all of this. All I want is a little peace and quiet. I was an only child. I'm not used to all the noise in the house. Your mother is always busy with you two. She never has enough time for me." My mother said, "Martin, Please calm down." He kept it up. Stuart started to cough really hard. I started to shake. I didn't want to show him that I was upset, but then I yelled, "You don't want to talk because you think I'll say that I hate you." "I don't care if you hate me. Don't you ever talk to me that way, young lady. Go up to your room." "Martin, give her a chance to talk." "You don't give anyone a chance to say anything. You just keep quiet." "What do you mean I don't give anyone a chance to talk?" "That's exactly what I mean." My father stood up and yelled, "Marcy, this is all your fault. You and that stupid group dynamics crap. Why don't you just leave well enough alone?" I screamed, "I hate you. Just leave me alone," and ran up to my room. I could still hear them fighting. Crying, I heard the door open. It was Stuart with Wolf. "Can I come in?" "Okay," I said. I tried to stop crying. He sat on the bed. "Marcy, I love you. Wolf loves you. Don't cry, please." "Stuart, I love you too. Why is everybody always yelling? Why can't we be happy?" "Don't worry, it will be all right. I don't like yelling." We just held on to each other. My mother came in and said, "Daddy doesn't mean anything when he yells. That's just his way. Don't be frightened. He loves you very much. He just doesn't know how to show it." I could see that she'd been crying. I felt so bad. Nothing that I ever did turned out right. "Your father says that he's sorry and that we should go shopping Saturday and buy you some new clothes. He thought you'd like that." "I don't want his dumb money for clothes." "Please, Marcy, be reasonable. He's sorry." "I hate him." "Please don't say that. You're upsetting me." So we stopped talking about it. Stuart and I went downstairs, and Mom gave us large bowls of ice cream. My father walked into the kitchen. Stuart started sucking his thumb. I finished up my ice cream and asked for more. "Marcy, did your mother tell you that you're both going shopping?" "Yes." "Buy anything you want." Then he walked out of the room. When I went to bed that night, I thought about how bad it was in my house, how much I loved Stuart, and how glad I was that Smedley and Miss Finney were at school.